Welcome back to River Valley Chronicle. I'm your guest host, Abby Peel, still here on the campus of Alice Peck Day in the Woodlands Independent Living Center. I'm here now with Chris Lord, the Executive Director of Youth in Action at the Hanover High School for both Hanover and Norwich students. Chris, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
So Youth in Action, I think, is such an amazing organization, especially for kids and getting them to volunteer. How did Youth in Action get started?
So Youth in Action was started, I believe we're now on our 34th year, and there was a parent, Maureen Hall, who is still in the community and very active, and she really wanted to get her daughter and children involved in community service, and I believe it started as sort of as a club. She gathered her children, their friends, and just got them active in the community. Began a club at Hanover High and was really the catalyst for Youth in Action being what it is today. And then when Kathy Garrity, who's also pretty well known in the Hanover Norwich community, took over as executive director, we became a nonprofit and really have grown from there.
And how did you get involved? You've been the executive director for a few years now, and why be involved in Youth in Action?
Yeah, this will be my 6th year coming up at the school, and I started as a middle school teacher years ago and have been working with children ever since. And when I worked at the school I did in Maryland, I saw it was a school with a lot of resources and a lot of means, and the children in that community really had so many opportunities, but there were a lot of people within the Annapolis community that didn't have those same opportunities and really wanted to push our students out into the community. And I worked at a summer camp, Farm and Wilderness, in near Plymouth, Vermont, and there was I think as a child there growing up, it was really instilled in me, along with my mother, to really, regardless of how much you had, there were always people that had less and needed more, and it was our responsibility to go out and help. So.
And what's the mission of Youth in Action? What's the overall goal at the end of the day?
I think there's essentially 2 missions that we have. One is to serve our community. There are a lot of different needs in the Upper Valley, and we have a huge student population at Hanover High and the other high schools in the area, and we have the power to go out and make change and to help. And I think the other mission is to really give high school students and teenagers the opportunity to serve. I think people have the misunderstanding that teenagers are really self-centered and self-focused and are all about giving to themselves, and I think they have a desire to give, but they don't necessarily have they don't really necessarily know where to go. Where do I go to help? And so Youth in Action really gives them an opportunity to say, here are all these different ways you can help, and we want to get you out there doing it. So
what are some of the things as executive director that you plan for the kids or bring them to volunteer in the community?
We really do a lot, and I think one of my goals when I came in as director was to have really authentic service. I think it's really important that if you're serving people in the community that you really come in direct contact with the people you're serving. I think charity has its place and can be really powerful, but know that in the charity projects that I've been involved with, sometimes you feel disconnected, that you don't necessarily, you raise the money, you pass the money on, that money is doing good, but you don't necessarily see or really, come in contact with those folks. So we've taken students down to Raleigh, North Carolina, and to York, Pennsylvania to do Habitat for Humanity builds. You really get to see these people that are looking for their very first home, and you have the ability to work with them and to sort of be a part of that dream. We've worked with Cover in the area. We have students go to the Children's Hospital. And again, doing a simple craft project that on the surface just doesn't seem like much. It's 30 minutes long, but you're working in some cases with children that have terminal illnesses, and our students have that opportunity in those 30 minutes to let that child escape from that. We work with Listen, we work with The Haven. Essentially, I sort of have 3 different kinds of projects or events that we work. One is that we help other service organizations in the area to provide them manpower and to provide them volunteers that they're looking for. We have some of our own projects that we establish for ourselves, and then we also help out with big community events. So if like the 4th of July in Hanover, you'll see us painting faces and making snow cones, and just really gets us out and visible in the community.
Well, I encourage anyone who wants more information about Youth in Action from the Hanover High School, which is also Norwich Kids, that's why it's Hanover Norwich, to make that clear, to really reach out to Chris and get kids helping you at your organizations or for any projects that are in the area. Chris, keep doing great work. I think it's really fantastic.
I think the last thing, just so that people know that we do work directly, I think the relationship historically has been with Hanover High, but Youth in Action is open to any teenager in the Upper Valley.
Really
whether
important.
they're in local schools, whether they're homeschooled. So if there are students out there that want to get involved for whatever reason, they can contact us and be a part of Youth in Action as well.
Really important. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you.